Sliding into your screen is not just any coffee bag. It's a Roastar coffee bag. No need thousands. Personalized just 25 in Roastar's Design Lab. No design experience needed. Choose a pattern, add your logo and text, or create something memorable with AI. Being made in the Midwest, you can expect it on your doorstep in no time. Now that was smooth.
Hey Joe, I don't want you in the shop, but I want to say thank you for facilitating our visit to Rusty Dog.
Absolutely.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Coffee People Podcast. The show is sponsored and supported by Roastar Coffee Packaging. Big thanks to them just for supporting the ability to talk to people and tell their stories. I'm your host, Ryan Wolt, and we are here at Rusty Dog Coffee in Madison, Wisconsin, a place I once called home and still feel at home in. I believe it's rustydogcoffee.com, if I'm not mistaken. This show can be found on any of your apps, Apple, Spotify, whatever. Just look for Coffee People Podcast. If you gentlemen wouldn't mind introducing yourselves, this is the only time I'll ask you to look at the camera just so people know who we are.
Sure. Tom Koren, founder of Rusty Dog, back in 2013, I guess, as a hobby business, now commercial roaster. Brought two friends into the business, and here we are.
And I'm Tony Bitner. I'm one of the owners of Rusty Dog as well. It's been an awesome world to be a part of for the past 7-8 years. So we're excited to have you.
Oh, I'm surprised it took us this long. Joe's been talking about you guys. I've seen you around. I think I mentioned to you off air that I first experienced Rusty Dog Coffee at a place called The Pickle in Wausau, Wisconsin,
Pickle
which
Jar,
is
yeah.
where I'm from, The Pickle Jar. I just call it The Pickle because there was a bar I went to in college called
Awesome.
The Pickle,
Yeah.
which had a whole other name too, but that's what we called it. Tom, I'm wondering, you said this started as a hobby business for a few years, but what got you into coffee in the first place to even think I want to go from just drinking it to roasting it and then selling it?
Good question. It all started out, I had a colleague on a airplane with a guy here in Madison who dabbled in used coffee equipment. Most of what he bought on the used market was junk, and he needed someone to salvage it and make it usable. So me as a engineer and a mechanic by heart, started working with him on nights and weekends to restore and rebuild coffee equipment, industrial coffee equipment, roasters, silos, baggers, big grinder, roller mills and such. And decided I wanted to learn the other side of the roasting side of the business. Thought it would be more fun and more profitable. I would say it is more fun, but not necessarily more profitable.
You sound like everyone that's ever told me, you know what, I think I'm going to retire and open a bar.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So started slow and small, built a website. It was a hobby business, mostly friends and family, did no marketing or advertisement, had a few people stumble across the website. It grew just enough to be a pain in the ass once we had our first kid, right? Now I've got a crying kid upstairs and I'm trying to ship 7 coffee orders a night, right? It's not worth my time. Decided to grow it or kill it. Thought hard about which avenue to take, and that's when I dug through the Rolodex and said who would I trust to be in this business with me, and approached Tony and Manny, and here we are today. The goal from day one of them investing and coming into the business was to go full commercial, not to stay small, to continue to grow and be aggressive. So luckily it worked out.
Manny Figueroa, who isn't here today, but thanks, Manny, for letting us do this here today. You say like full commercial, and I'm assuming that's because you had learned with your 7 orders a day and the kid that selling retail is hard.
It is. And when I say commercial, maybe that's not the perfect word, but we are not an open to the public cafe or roastery. Do people walk in to buy coffee? Many of them repeat customers. Yes, we do not have public hours. We are not guaranteed to be here every day. We are not a cafe with a roaster in the cafe, right? We are a wholesale roaster, but we sell direct to the public also.
Sure. You said you looked in your Rolodex to see who you felt comfortable with, bringing in Tony and Manny. I'm wondering, maybe from you first, how did it feel like seeing he had a vision for what he wanted? You either had to buy into that vision, or did you bring your own thoughts into it? How did you guys manage that part of the
for
deal?
sure. So that's a great question. So we are currently going through a rebrand, and I think that rebrand is going to establish Rusty Dog as the Rusty Dog it is now. The Rusty Dog it is now has definitely changed from when Tom initially had this idea and had this thought and had a business. So he's welcomed us, and I think he really put together an awesome team. I think what I always explain to customers is that Manny is very sales and customer focused, and that's really, he's this side of the spectrum. Tom is an amazing engineer. He has a mind that I've never met somebody like that. And then I think I'm this middle of the road that understands what Tom's saying, understands what Manny's saying, and I can weave and hopefully make this path, I guess, more gray than just white or black or white on either side. So I think it's a wonderful team. And yeah, it's been amazing just to watch us grow. And, it was hard at first. Tom and I both work day jobs. Manny's always been kind of this our full-time guy. So we would come here on nights, weekends. We would work 9 to 5 and come here at 5:30 and
till 1 in the morning.
Yes, and go back and do our 9 to 5.
Yeah, but you both have families.
We do.
So they have to be on board with this, right? With the idea that you're going to take the chance. What did they see, or what did you see that you thought it's going to be worth it 9 years from now?
I think where we are now and the path we're going is what we saw. And I think it's always a calculated risk. In college, I took an entrepreneur class, and I just remember the expression, it's a calculated risk. So I think all our families were on board with this calculated risk that we all decided to take and believe in, I guess.
I think we were all done with the corporate world, and our wives knew that, could tell that. And, we were in situations where our companies didn't want us to be entrepreneurial, right? They wanted us, especially me and Tony, working for a German-owned company, as this is the way you do it, and don't try anything else. Don't use your mind. Don't, just follow the law, follow the book, right? And it just wore on us. Let's have some ingenuity. Let's be entrepreneurs. Let's, let us put our stamp on something in life. So.
And that coming to fruition for sure.
With Rusty Dog. How does, when I think engineer and all the engineers I've known in the brewing world and now in the coffee world, they do follow a somewhat rigid set of testing, try this, test, try this, try this. Do you find that you are able to be more creative here than you were in your career before? Or is that even part of a goal for you?
Probably less creative because there's less money. In the corporate world, there's more R&D money. But I've always been the engineer that is quite a risk taker, pushing myself and my teams to the envelope, trying things that everyone says isn't going to work. So I still do that type of stuff here. So yeah, I'm probably different than a typical engineer. I'm also love the web and e-commerce side of the business and the financial side of the business. I run the books. But I guess just not quite the typical engineer. So this matches my mindset well, because we can do whatever we want. We just launched canned coffees, right? We're going to come out with nitro canned teas. We're probably doing this as a much smaller roaster than most people that get into a product like this. We're risk takers.
Sure. And this is, I think, Ambition Nitro Craft Coffee, right?
This is the oat milk latte version. We
Sweet cream version.
Okay. We have a black version, and then we're working on tea recipe.
Okay. Yeah, I follow the Rusty Dog socials, so I saw it pop up. This would be a good chance to tell people, what is it that you actually do then here? What are you providing to your customers, and what's the goal with coffee, tea, and now this?
Yeah, I would say coffee, number one. Well, actually, number one is we provide us, right? Like the three of us, like we have an employee now too. There's 4 people here almost daily. But we offer ourselves to all of our customers. When there's an issue or someone thinks their coffee doesn't taste right or their espresso machine's not working, they reach out to the owners directly. So we offer ourselves and our services and our input and our dedication. But coffee is our number one product. Equipment, coffee equipment, espresso machines, brewers, grinders, probably a little different than a normal roaster selling equipment because we have quite a bit of in-house service and support available too. Installation, water filtration. We offer refrigeration, and then the tea and can ready to drink products.
Yeah, I think you hit it. I think our value proposition is that when you work with Rusty Dog, you work with the owners, and that will not change. So as we grow and as we build our team, it will be an in-house team, and we are the ones that know every aspect of our business. So we'll be the ones that are still the face and out there in front, working with our customers. So I think we win business based on that. We bring people here. We have a beautiful space that maybe we'll show them. I don't know. But really, I think a huge value proposition is that you work directly with Tony, Tom, and Manny. We can make decisions on the spot. We can make decisions right with you on the phone. So I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, I can do a loop around if you guys are willing to let me explore the space afterwards. One of the things that I was thinking about before I was coming in here, when Joe was telling me, "Hey, we can get you guys together." You're roasting in a state, Wisconsin, with fairly dramatic weather pattern changes throughout the year. Coffee is beholden, especially as it sits in a warehouse, to things like humidity and temperature. How do you manage that, or how do you adopt that into your process?
Yeah, well, adopting the process is one thing. The roast profiles are totally different in the winter versus summer. 95 degree green bean reacts different in the roaster than a 55 degree green bean, right? So our charge temps are different. Our airflows are a bit different in a roaster in the winter. The newer roasting technology self-adjusts some of that, but our old roaster, we have winter and summer profiles, right? In the spring and fall, we split the difference. We do a dehumidifier. So we have a large industrial dehumidifier running. We do open the door on some days when the humidity's not quite as bad. But we also make sure that we source all coffee in GrainPro and keep the bag sealed to the best of our ability. We've actually paid for coffee to be rebagged into GrainPro before it's come here to avoid it being exposed through the burlap.
Sure. Yeah, one of the things that I know, like at small whiskey distillery, bourbon distillery, they might rotate barrels up and down if it's close to a window or that. You guys have to deal with any of that sort of adjustments here inside?
Not really, no. I mean, we run fans to move air, and like I said, we dehumidify. We do load some grain into silos, as you can see here, but only a day or two's worth of product in there.
Well, I think one of the challenges being a wholesaler primarily as opposed to a tasting space or a place people are coming in is your customers are wanting consistency maybe more so than maybe even what the best taste of the bean is. They would rather have it consistent because that's what they're selling their customers. Or do you not find that to be the case?
Well, I think that most consumers love consistency until they taste something better. Sometimes the coffee crop itself is not consistent. You get the same coffee from the same farm the next year, and it just isn't the same. Sometimes it's a no-buy, right? Sometimes it was a no-buy last year, and we buy it this year. Their rainfall changes, their amount of sun changes. Who knows what else changed? They fertilized different or didn't fertilize. So you see changes in the crop no matter what. With certain core products, we try to blend, like our blends, we try to keep those pretty stable in finding origins to match those profiles. But we actually encourage change on our single origin products. And we only have a few blends. Yeah. We're really single origin guys. And we love the change, right? We don't want consistency. We don't want the same Sumatra every year. We don't want the same Peru every year. We want to offer change to our customers. So I think we have to both embrace change, but try to hold consistency on a couple of those blends that people for espresso.
I think that's important because our number one way of sourcing coffee is flavor. We cup and cup and cup and cup. We're constantly tasting.
Yeah.
We just don't say, we'll buy that same Guatemala as last year. We want to cup it and we want to make sure that it's going to represent Rusty Dog again this year. And if it doesn't, we'll search the country to find something that does. So we're always changing every year, every crop. But we always want our customers to know that it's better than the previous year because we taste everything that we bring in. Number one, that's how we source coffee. So we've heard stories where importers just tell us that people just call in and say, I want something that tastes like blah, blah, blah. But we don't do that. We cup and taste and we approve everything that we bring in.
Our importers, our suppliers, our partners, some farmers we work direct with, many of them have joked with us that we are like their pickiest customer on the cupping table. We're good at finding diamonds in the rough, I guess. We just brought a Mexico in that the way it cupped, we couldn't believe the price point. It was a great coffee at that price point. And then we cup coffee at 3 times that value, and it's like tastes like cardboard. People are selling on name and origin too often and not the cup. But we are very picky on the cupping table. Luckily, we get along very well, probably better than any other aspect of the business. We are really we very rarely have any differences on the cupping table.
There might be a time where 2 of us will cup and then Manny will cup tomorrow. We won't say anything about the coffees, and then he'll basically give us the same results that we were both communicating. So it's pretty interesting.
You've calibrated over all the years together of what you like.
Yeah.
We do the show with the support of Roastar. They're supporting me, but by extension, the small businesses that we talk to, which I greatly appreciate. But I also have a passion for kind of advising small businesses or talking to them or saying, hey, this is how I failed. Maybe you can avoid that because it's such a great community. Coffee in particular, you rarely see one coffee shop. You mentioned this just before we got on the recording, but if you were out of something, you could call one of your neighboring coffee roasters and they would help you out and vice versa. So I'm wondering if you have any advice for, say, a burgeoning coffee entrepreneur, someone who says, I've seen what Rusty Dog has done. I don't want to do the same thing, but I want to get into this industry and this business. Any piece of advice you can share with them?
The first thing that comes to thought is it's always harder than you think it's going to be. And usually harder, usually you're going to deviate from your business plan many times, on paper. We had to put together, for our landlord to trust us on this building when we were losing money and had as a business, we were losing money because of having to invest in our future.
Yeah.
We had to put together business plans and convince this landlord to let us sign this lease. And did we fall a little behind that in the first couple of years? Yeah. Did we blow by it now? Yeah. Right. But don't get, don't get frustrated with yourself if you don't match your business plan and your financial plan, and just be ready to pivot and try something different. Don't give up.
Yeah. I think for me, I guess what I think about is when I stopped my day job. Of course, it was a plan with my family and maybe the health insurance and blah, blah, blah. But the day I gave my notice, I was just like, I should have done this years ago. So I think it's scary. It's a calculated risk, as I've said before, but I think just don't give up, stick to your guns, and you'll make it work.
I want to ask about the packaging. Is this the new rebrand you mentioned, or
brand refresh?
We're seeing here.
Can we share this?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, great.
It's not launched yet, but it's here.
So I'm wondering, with this new packaging, what was the difference in the story you wanted to tell from the old packaging?
Forgot to turn that off.
On location. It's fine. That's how it works. Okay, so back to these packages. This is the original. This is kind of our refresh.
Yes. It's not the original.
Not the original.
This is our current version,
and refresh. One, why even do it if you're not selling as often directly? You're more of a wholesaler. But 2, what's the story that you're trying to tell with the new bag?
So first of all, let's address selling directly. So We take our product to market in 3 ways. We have wholesale customers that are cafes and restaurants. We have a robust online business, so we ship coast to coast every day. We offer subscriptions. You can subscribe to whatever you want. We have preset packages that ship first and third week of each month. So we do sell direct that way.
Got it.
And then we also do self-distribute to grocery stores in the Madison area.
Right.
And markets and
Yeah. We can do private label stuff for
gift
people
shops.
and gift shops. And, So then the second part of your question was?
Well, the second part is what's the story we're
Yes.
telling with the new kind of refresh?
Well, the 12-ounce bag, just to add to that, it's in a lot of people's hands. Like Tony said, we don't sell direct to. We're not open to the public.
Yes.
But we do sell direct to consumer heavily through the website. So that 12-ounce bag gets in a lot of people's hands direct through mail order. It also gets in their hands from grocery and gift shops and markets and wherever else it might wind up. Hair salons, bike shops. We have places all over selling that product. So that bag is getting in a lot of people's hands. 30, 40,000 bags a year is getting into people's hands. The story, the bag's a bit more about us. We are fairly colorful people, right? We're fun to hang out with, and people come visit us and hang out for hours unplanned. So we capture some more fun stuff on the bag with different colors, a little bit of the rust color on the side. We are very music oriented between the 3 of us. So there's some things there's a coffee roaster design with a record there. One of our new logos here is the 3-headed dog, which represents the 3 owners. It's also modeled off the insert of a 45 album, all right? So the adapter on a 45 album to play that album on a regular turntable. So you see that tied into music, kind of the rock and roll theme with the lightning bolt on the side. But yeah, just to add some color, tell some more about us, capture the 3 of us, a little story on the back. There's a lot of 3s on there. It was time for a refresh, time for someone professional to put a touch on it. This current bag, which is probably the 3rd version of our packaging, was just done free with online tools, right? So it was time to have someone put a touch on our brand.
Yeah, and it all started with letterpress. So that is our new logo. Is custom design that we found at a company local in town that has letterpress. Everything's vintage. He has racks and racks and racks of vintage letterpress that he found throughout the years, and he would travel and get collections from newspaper printers that are unfortunately out of business. So this all started with this custom letterpress design, and then built around that and built around our concepts, our ideas, and the ideology that is the 3 guys in Rusty Dog now. So yeah, this really represents the 3 of us, I think, and it's just a natural next step that we're going to take. And I don't know, our plan is to grow with this.
Well, that I think takes me to my next question, which is where can we find it? If somebody's watching this show, rustydogcoffee.com.
For sure.
They can look in their markets. If they don't have them, they can request them, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure.
You said east to west coast. Are you serving more? Is it heavier weighted in some places than others?
Of course, here it's heavy. But the Midwest, we're definitely extending our reach.
We have cafes trickling out to the coast.
We do.
We don't really have presence in grocery stores or much markets. Some of the cafes might have 12-ounce bags on their shelves. And some of the cafe business comes and goes. Like there's some coffee shop in California that actually emailed us and said, Paris Hilton drinks coffee here, and they were buying a product for a while, but then you don't see them and they come back. It's harder to find as you get out of Wisconsin, but we're certainly available from the website, and there's a wholesale for anyone interested in wholesale anywhere in the U.S. There's a wholesale application built into the website.
For sure.
There's a wholesale portal,
and we ship wholesale orders throughout the country as well.
Great. Well, I'll make sure we link to that and show that. What did I miss today that you want people to know about Rusty Dog? What I've pulled from it really is that it's a true collaboration between the 3 of you. giving yourselves the opportunity to do this thing that you want to do for yourself. But, what else is there?
It really is. I think we fresh roast all of our coffee. So we roast, I think you mentioned a little bit ago, we are roasting almost 5 days a week. If we don't roast, it's because we planned that way. Really, we roast to order. So even our customers that buy 50, 60 pounds of espresso roast a week, we don't roast that the previous week and wait for them to place that order. We roast when they're ordering. So all of our coffee is fresh roasted. And I think that's said a lot. I'm sure you hear that a lot, but I do think that's it's important. We don't pre-roast our coffee and have it sitting around waiting for orders to come.
Yeah, and for other roasters watching this that say that's impossible, of course you can't do that perfectly. So we look at our production demand through our software. We roast to demand plus 10 or 20%, right? So that 10 or 20% gets you to start the next day or the day after. So we're not roasting to the bean to demand, but we're not roasting to put coffee on a shelf for a week or a month to fulfill orders. It's order based plus, depending on the bean and the demand for that product, 10 or 20%. And then if we roasted, some of those we're still roasting 4 days a week. Right?
Absolutely.
But you need that little buffer to get. There's orders coming in right now that we don't know about, right? So,
and I think that's important even with our grocery customers. So we do self-distribute every week, every Wednesday. Manny's not here because of that. And we rotate our product and we load fresh product in every week to all of our grocery customers as well. So I think that's important to know too. When you're shopping for Rusty Dog, there is a date stamp in the back and you can see what it is. But all of our coffee, even to grocery stores, will roasted. Usually Monday, Tuesday. We package and work hard those days to get it ready for Wednesday delivery.
I appreciate that date stamp.
Sure.
I'm always looking for that. That comes from my beer days too.
Yeah.
But knowing, I'm not going to call them out, but I was recently in a grocery store and the same coffee in the same line, the one in the front had been roasted that week and the one in the back had been roasted in April. So you know that nobody's going through and cycling through. So
for sure. It's important.
Yeah, and the dates in the coffee world are all over the place too, because there is no federal standard.
Yeah.
Coffee's considered a non-potentially hazardous food, so everyone dates their stuff differently. Some are roast on date, some are batch coded with no dates, some are expiration dates dated out 18 months from now. Some people have not expiration dates, best by dates. Some have best by dates 6 weeks from now. There is no standard, so you really have to learn your roaster to make an educated decision, on that grocery store shelf, because everyone does something a little different with their dates there.
Sure. I would venture to say that if it's a really bad cup of coffee, it could be a dangerous thing when I throw my cup, across the campsite or across the room.
Totally. The coffee won't get you
I'm not
sick.
saying that I have an anger management problem
Sure.
with my coffee. I'm just saying, I appreciate both of you being here. I appreciate Manny. I'd probably appreciate him more if he was here, but I appreciate that he exists.
Yes. He's awesome.
And I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to the Coffee People podcast. You can find Rusty Dog Coffee at rustydogcoffee.com. Those links will be in our show notes wherever you're listening to this or watching it. Again, thank you to Roastar for supporting our show. If you are looking for coffee at your local grocer, your local market, and it's not Rusty Dog, but you want to try it, ask them to reach out.
Heck yeah.
Thanks to Joe for setting up from Green Coffee Importers, Cape Horn Green Coffee Importers, excuse me. You can check out all their stuff online, links as well. This show is available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all of the different places. Search for Coffee People. Thank you for listening, watching. Don't forget to tip your baristas, and thank you for drinking good coffee.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you too. No.
That's it.
All right. We'll
Awesome.
wander around.
Yes, please.
Perfect. That was perfect, guys.
Fun.
Uh, I'm going to thank Dave from Green Bean Asia too. It's still rolling.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah, no, do that.
Um,